Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, just before we get started to the issue now. Thank you so much. President Buhari may have done a major work of the budget passage, which is a signing, but now the big part of the job now is in the implementation. The federal government says it is clear about how it wants and hopes to implement the 2016 budget, and also hopes that it will be able to achieve 100% implementation. The federal government released a strategic implementation plan. Let me quickly show you what that is all about. It includes governance, transparency, and security. The second one is diversification, which will entail industrialization, agriculture, solid minerals, tourism, and entertainment. The third step in the strategic plan is critical infrastructure, which will entail power, railroads, and housing. And the fourth is oil and gas reforms, ease of doing business, the fifth, and social investment as the sixth. Those are the basic steps that the federal government says it will follow in implementing the 2016 budget. Of course, we know what it's now Nigerians are anticipating and waiting for the rollout of the cash, which the federal government says it will pump into the system, hoping that this will change the financial and the economic climate in the country. Joining me to discuss this issue is a political science lecturer at the University of Lagos, Dr. Kayode Esuola. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's nice being here, Sean.
And from Delta State in Warri is a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Dafe Akpedeye, joins us now. Thank you so much, Mr. Akpedeye. But let me start with our guest in the studio here. We've seen the implementation plan, the 6 steps that the federal government says it will follow. It also, the federal government also says it will, it's hoping that it will achieve 100% implementation. From the outlook of the budget, from what you perceive, do you see that happening?
Well, theoretically speaking, and I'm putting that word in quotes, based on intention reading, based on body language, based on the disposition of the president ever since he has taken up power, one will hope really, that the dream of implementing it 100% is realistic and it will come to pass as the case may be. However, that being said, it is not enough for a government to say, I have a budget and I have a strategic plan of 6 points, as it is shown here, towards implementing the budget. What is important, much more important in my view, is the policy direction. In actual fact, it is not your plan that implements your budget, it's your policy that really implements your budget.
Does this six strategic plan, does it look like a policy to that effect?
It's not. Rather, it is just the plan that it was called. In other words, this plan should have informed the preparation and the direction of the budget. When, of course, the policy which will come out of it will then implement the budget.
The spirit of this implementation plan, Dr. Esuola, if you look at it, from the first one, governance, transparency, and security, does it speak what this budget was all about in the first place?
That's what I'm saying.
Is it in tandem?
Yeah.
Does it look like this can drive the implementation of the budget?
That's what I'm saying, that to me, it feels like putting the cart before the horse.
Oh, this should have come first?
This should have come first to inform the budget. Then the implementation becomes a policy. For instance, if you look at the first one, which talks about security, and then you go into the budget, you see something like security vote, and then you begin to wonder, when you say you vote this amount of money for security, is it for buying and ammunition? Is it for paying security allowances to governors and ministers only to manifest in buying of new cars and SUVs for private and public wives, as the case may be. So these are just mere intentions, plans as they are.
If you look at the second one, diversification, and under it is industrialization, agriculture, solid minerals, tourism, entertainment, does that bring to mind that intention of saying we are, there's a doom in the oil revenue, and so this will drive that that idea of us looking away from the oil
As
sector.
I said, it says it to some extent. But then what you say at this point should have determined the kind of budget to bring forward to Nigerians. Then your policies will then implement the budget. I think, as I started, there is a good intention on the part of the federal government, going by the body language, the disposition so far from May 29, 2015. And in that spirit, you will hope that this budget is implementable. But my complaint, that again in quotes, is that you don't have a plan to implement a budget.
Maybe they had this plan before they...
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
What would you have suggested?
The sequence is a bit problematic in my view. It is the plan that leads to the budget. And when you have your budget, you now give policy direction, because it's that policy direction that implements.
Now that we have it
budget.
in this manner, what would you suggest that should be done urgently? Because a few months before the end of 2006,